Howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 537, the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. We're doing it live. I'm your dashing host, Chris, and with me is my good friend and co-host of a winning podcast for a winning team, Ash, the man, Thompson. Mr. Tweetson, how you doing today, my man?
Spectacular. Nobody call so we can go to bed. Obviously, I'm joking. Call until you don't want to call anymore.
No,
Our best moments are in moments like this, you know?
This was,
Man,
dude.
so exciting.
Woof. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to cover Coach Campbell's post-game press conference. Then we'll do a roundtable. We'll take your calls. We'll do a conversation about the game, and we'll get into all the stuff. And then we'll, after that, call it a night, tuck you in, send you off to La La Land before we start work day on Monday. But what a great Monday it's going to be. Ash, we got a great show lined up. You ready to go, brother?
Let's do this.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Wait, I fumbled that. I meant Guam, if I'm just going to do impressions of other people who've been on the show.
Oh, that's great. I wish I got to get the Orlovsky Guam on taps here because that was the best one. He went nuts.
It really was. Yep.
Oh man. Okay, so
his throat probably bled on that one.
Yeah, and like I saw Blandino do a thing today before the game with Chris Thompson, who's still smoking. And like, don't forget, he got to start with us.
Yep.
Blandino started with us. Jahmyr Gibbs. How many yards did he have today? 34?
That's an excellent question that I probably should have looked up before we started.
No, I got it here. I got it right here. Gibbs, 34. But here's what I'm looking for. Where's my Jamison Williams? 121 yards on 5 receptions and a touchdown. This is what we've talked about, guys. This is absolutely what we talked about. How JMO has every opportunity. That little injury scare there was everything that we thought it could scary be, but it worked out. He got back in the game. But JMO, great game. Looked really good out there. Looked fired up. He changed the offense, except the rest of the offense wasn't used to how to play with a JMO on the field. They didn't seem to be able to. I mean, it kind of felt like they missed Reynolds, to be fair.
Yeah. That's I would say that's probably accurate. Is the way that they were playing today wasn't the way that we have historically seen them play, particularly on the St. Brown thing. But the Rams were also like they kept a safety over the top of St. Brown basically for that entire game. That's why he wasn't getting the ball. It's because it wasn't there. Like there was nothing there. They were bracketing him at times with a safety over the top, corner on the outside, and a linebacker on the inside, because like it is known in the league that guy is the one that you have to stop if you're going to deal with the Detroit Lions offense. That's why JMO was open and had linebackers covering him on crossers, is because they were paying so much attention to St. Brown.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing. You know what I mean? Because it puts tape out there that says you can't fucking do that anymore.
That's exactly
you know what I mean? This is no longer an option unless you want to have the fastest guy. Yep.
It opens up St. Brown next week. And when that happens, you know who else winds up finding some balls? Sammy Laporta. They had that middle of the field all jacked up, and they weren't watching JMO like they should, and like they're going to have to now. So now we're going to start seeing people react, and it's hard because you're really seeing. You saw the two sides of this sword. You saw JMO just blasting through and past people, and you saw Monty just bulldozing his way down the field on that last drive. I mean, he was the bowling ball came through. But now, what do you do when you have JMO and you have Monty both able to win a game for you? And yeah, they're in the middle of the field as your Laportas and your St. Browns. This is really interesting. Now, I think there's a first week kind of yips that we saw from this team. There's a lot to clean up. A lot nicer to have to clean up from a win than from a loss.
Especially on defense, man. Especially on defense, because that the way that they played tonight is not going to be good enough on defense to do that to other teams who aren't down to 3 starting players on their entire offense.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like that's yeah, as far as as far as our offense goes, like if they average 26 all year, that's probably going to be a top 5 offense.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't 30 something, it wasn't a crazy impressive number that they put up, but this also wasn't the side of the ball that the Rams were particularly weak on this evening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yep.
once Puka Nacua went out, that was they just didn't have anything. That should have been immediately shut down. But as the broadcasters kept mentioning, and I said in the Slack chat prior to the game, uh, the amount of motion that they do, as far as the Rams goes, is going to be a problem because it's hard for a defense with a lot of new people to really hide what you're doing in terms of dealing with that pre-snap motion, because you can't just pass guys off because they don't have that rapport. They don't have that time together. They don't have that Applebee's menu in front of their face.
So we've been instructed that we can't let people steal our order. Riz, go ahead and, or sorry, Ash, go ahead and just do a cover on the face here for the rest of the show so that they can't steal our format, because it's happened before. Okay, so let's talk about the Lions, and that is kind of fun. We can pull that out as a thing sometime. You gotta, it's when you do it though, you gotta get the hat on. It's gotta be like, the hat's gotta be low and just like barely the eyes coming through.
Yep.
Oh man. So Bates, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Ties the game.
Master Bates.
He wasn't a giant part of the game, yet he was a giant part of the game.
2 for 2. Yep. That's when you make 2 attempts, you want to have 2 successes, and that is what he did tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Casey Cholker or Culture. Boy, that's a tough one. 2 CHs in there. Casey will say, I'm proud of Levi for his crucial sack in the first quarter. 100%. I jumped up and it was like literally clapping and cheering for Levi. I was so happy to see him come through and rock and roll that, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Seeing that, watching Kirby get his pick later in the game was a nice thing to see, you know, kind of back to form in that regard. There weren't really any plays where he got victimized.
Yeah.
You know, like and it was nice to see after last year where that was a kind of a consistent thing as they, you know, during his sophomore slump that lasted most of the 17 games of the regular season last year.
Yep.
Yeah, just really good to see. And I mean, Hutch is already on the board as far as sacks goes too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
he was
they ended up splitting that one with Levi and Marcus Davenport. So we basically got everything we wanted tonight. Is we got some pass rush across from Aiden Hutchinson, and Hutch was literally like a demon this evening.
Absolutely. He absolutely was. We're going to keep watching for the press conference to show up. As soon as it shows up, we will have Coach Campbell and whoever else rolls in on that press conference like we usually do. But nothing there just yet. Stafford looked good. Donkey Kong. Goff could have used some preseason reps. Super Bowl or bust. Just the name of Donkey Kong. But the preseason reps, those preseason reps sure could have been helpful.
It'd be nice if he could get his injury? Half of not particularly good football out of the way in like week 3 of the preseason or 2. You know, like if we could just get that over with and move on with the rest of the season, because he does it every year. You know, we're just at a point now where I think we understand that that's all that is.
Yeah,
you know, we're not terrified that it is the end times.
It's never the.
Although I'm sure we'll get some people.
All right, we are watching for the post game to hit, and we'll get the press conference. Then Dan Campbell's press conference. We'll cover that live for you. Don't worry, we've got you, and we're keeping our eye on that. Kirby. So Dave Griffith said this in the Slack, and I think there's something to this. Okay. The blue uniforms in Ford Field, especially down close into the end zone like that, are like camouflage, because you know it's literally that same blue and white that's wrapped around, and then they're in there. I genuinely believe that Kirby was completely camouflaged, and that's why Stafford didn't see him there. I honestly believe that
I 100% agree with that. And the reason I agree with that is because I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of the New York Islanders arena, but they're the only stadium that does this where they just have like the whole backing is black everywhere. So there's been a few times where someone just lofted a puck in at the goalie and they just completely lost it in that black background.
Right.
And you just see them going, I have no idea where the puck is, and it ends up going in when they dumped it in from the opposition blue line. So like there is definitely something to that. It's the same thing with like you'll see everybody wearing red gloves in the secondary for a team where red isn't even one of their colors whenever they're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So they can get away with that stuff on Kelsey,
Yeah.
It's once you start looking for it, it's definitely there.
Oh man, it was fantastic. It was beautiful. This was a game. Look, we knew it was going to be hard against Stafford, and like if you watch fights, whether it's boxing, UFC, whatever, it's the third fight that is always the big kind of the tiebreaker, the delineator, who's the winner.
Swing match.
Yeah, we didn't get that 1, 2, and it's going to be down for the count if the Rams make the playoffs this year. We've got their number. Their number. It's a tough game.
They technically did win the first one. You know what I mean? Like that first year, he did come back here and beat the living hell out of a garbage team. So this was the swing match, my friend. We win.
I love it.
Came back and remember he was saying to the guys, he's like, "Man, I feel so bad for you guys still being here." And that was the moment when I was like, F that guy.
Yeah.
Bro, you're not my guy anymore. At the point when you're telling players who are still here, like, oh yeah, I feel so bad for you guys still being here after a game where you beat the living crap out of them.
Yeah. There's a story about that one lady who got her nails into Stafford and clutched in for a marriage. Gonna go there, but don't really want to cover that too much.
Why are we talking about her?
Yeah. She was there, and I'm glad she didn't have a good time. Someone got it.
Yep.
Whoever got that coin flip was gonna win. Chad Fletcher says, "What do you think?" I think there's something to that, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't
think
know.
Sean McVay by the end of that game had kind of figured out what Aaron Glenn was doing, and that was problematic. Like he had just sort of opened up the book that was the Detroit Lions defense and was kind of just reading pages from it to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
By the end of that game, that defense wasn't in a good spot. Like it's very good that most teams can't function with that much pre-snap motion, or we would be in for some trouble.
Yeah. Oof.
Until they figure it out. Like that's the thing. It's time on task. You know what I mean? They need to get their 10,000 hours in, however you want to measure this. That's what needs to happen so that they can do things like pass off the guy who's in motion to somebody else and just have everybody know that that's what's happened. Right now they can't do that, so that's why you're seeing Carlton Davis run all the way across the formation with Cooper Kupp, 3 or 4 straight snaps to get him out of the way of other things that are happening.
I will say, I feel like there was, as I'm thinking about this, there was an ebb and a flow to the game. And, we scored 17 unanswered. They scored 17 unanswered, right? And then we stopped them. They didn't score anymore at that point. I understand what you're saying about McVay kind of figuring out the defense, but I think our defense figured out a little bit. And let's be honest. I mean, their guys were tired.
It's because they were on their 15th string right tackle.
Yeah. They were tired. They were on their 35th string players, and they only had Cooper Kupp to catch that ball. That's the only guy we kind of basically had to cover. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. This was, I don't know that they score a touchdown if they win that coin flip. But I will say, and this is where I put my money on the Lions, they were 100% all in on the grit piece to win that. They were all there. And it was fantastic to watch them.
They just did what they should have done in the first quarter.
They bullied the Rams down the field. Just put their balls on their face and started walking. Flounder, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Victory. Fun day, boys. We
heart, fire. What are those ones?
I think salute.
Saluting face. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Either that or wiping the sweat off the forehead. One of the two. Either one would be would work. Flounder, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. God, yeah, dude, to come in. This is week one is such a freaking crazy week because so many different things can happen, and to watch the boys pull it out like this and make this happen was fantastic. Was fantastic. Woo! I want to ask you about Terrion Arnold. We saw him. He had some highs.
Yeah.
He had some lows. And I got to get a quick super chat in. Thank you, Full Metal Savage. Stole this, but JMO's so fast he ran to LA at halftime, booed Stafford's kids, and then ran back. Love it. Let's talk about Terrion. His debut as a pro. What did you think? Where would you grade him in his performance?
Well, I would say it's exactly what you expect out of a really good corner in college getting into their first game. Like that's all the mistakes he made were correctable, like every single one of them. And he was in the right place to make a play all of the time. He just got too physical, too far down the field, which is a thing you can do in college and cannot do in the NFL. And that is generally kind of what happens with good physical rookie corners is it takes them a little while to get used to not being able to put their hands on guys like that. None of that gets called at Alabama.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing that he did tonight gets called as a penalty in the SEC. So that's all it is he just has to adjust his game style a little bit, be a little bit later with the hands, because if he doesn't hit the guy's hand on the ball that probably isn't getting caught anyway, that doesn't get called.
Yeah. Can somebody we got to talk about the rake. We got to talk about the rake a little bit in the special teams play. Oh man,
he's probably never covered punts in his life before today. Live in a
practice,
game, like that's probably never happened. Yeah, exactly. So like again, guy doing new things.
How about an old guy doing more and more new things and improving as every year here? Alex Anzalone out there. He owned that first half, man. He just shut shit down no matter where it was. He was Mr. Everywhere. Thor just bringing the hammer on that Rams offense. It was beautiful. And he kind of faded out in the second half, though.
There's going to be some stuff PFF doesn't like because a lot of times in motion, the guy that they were setting up to not physically be capable of doing the thing that needed to be done was Alex Anzalone. That's kind of why he was trailing tight ends towards the sideline so often, is just like there were three guys between him and the guy he was supposed to cover when the play got snapped. So you got to work your way through traffic, and then the guy catches the ball, you catch him and knock him out of bounds. That's what you do. But just the fact that he wasn't there to cover it is going to probably give people a PFF grade that doesn't look real nice.
The field,
I mean,
the field conditions. I felt like we played in Allen Park instead of at Ford Fields. What the hell, man?
I've never seen such a slippery indoor field. Like, I don't know what that is, but yeah. And it was just Lions guys falling down is the other weird thing. Like, it's the home field. If anything's weird, it should be affecting the other team far more than it's affecting your own. But yeah, like Davis had a spectacular game right until the play. He, of course, gets highlighted because he fell down when they reversed the motion. And Lions all day sliding all over the place as though it was Soldier Field in November.
They had to adjust the cleats like it was Brazil. What the hell, man? That was nuts.
Yeah.
Still waiting for the Dan Campbell press conference to start. We've got our eyes on it. As soon as we get MCDC up on the podium, we will carry him live here on the show. So be ready for that. A lot of good stuff coming. He's always got something good to say, especially after
you missed a super chat.
I missed a super chat. He's okay. I'll get to it.
From Full Metal Savage.
I got that one.
Jame was so fast he ran to LA at halftime. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I even read it.
Okay, never mind. I'm just.
I
did not consume any illicit substances.
There's something that people this is always so great. The locker room, the post game locker room celebration. Just keep your eyes on the Lions YouTube channel tomorrow, because it'll come out and it's always so good. It's so like heartwarming and emotionally, like it just grips you. It's really, really quality stuff from the social media team. So he's gotta he's got to go do that right now, and he's doing that, and then he will roll out, catch his voice, probably fucking crush a couple Bud Lights, and then roll out to the podium and sorry, Natty Ice. Campbell's a Natty Ice guy. He'll crush a couple Natty Ices and then roll his way out to the podium. So taking a second, but we will have him live when it's time and when he's there. So let's see. Defensive line applied great pressure. Offense was a struggle. Good teams find ways to win games like these. Go Lions. That's absolutely the truth. And this is something the Detroit Lions have not done, and I'll say historically, and I'll say over the 30 years previous, right? We got Dan Campbell right now. He is on the thing, so let's go right to it.
Games are these? Are they what you think they are? And it's, some of these mistakes show up, and does it cost the other team how many? And man, it's inevitable. It's every year, and it really is. It's first game, and the ones that can just play basic football the best, man. The blocking, the tackling, targeting, communication, taking care of the football, being smart with it, the check down. They win. And so, yeah, there's things that, man, they're going to come along with it. And it's the first time a lot of these guys in a while have played that many plays with that much intensity. And so this is our first taste. We'll get better. We'll get in a better flow. On both sides of the ball, we will. But at the end of the day, our defense held these guys to less points than our offense, and our offense scored more points than their offense did. And so we found a way to win.
Just the expectations of Jameson Williams and how impressed you guys have been from all camp. Just to come in here, have a couple big plays, 121 yards, a touchdown. Just how happy are you for him to get off to that kind of start?
Yeah, listen, expected him to play pretty good, to play better, and he showed up. I mean, that was a big game, to be able to catch some of these and go through it. And the best part of it was he didn't even play his best ball. There's still so much to clean up. But it also shows the work that he's put in, and he is improving, and he's an improved player, and he wants it, man, and he keeps working on it, and he keeps taking these steps. So as long as he keeps doing it and keeps making plays, he's just going to continue to get better. So, yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of where he's at, but he's got so much room to continue to grow.
Felt like an appropriate performance for David Montgomery, given the conversation we had last week. The way he finished that game, how much of that is him, his style running gets stronger as the game goes on? How much is it that you can maybe manage or balance his workload with a guy like Gibbs also on the roster? Yeah,
I mean, look, that's going to help, and I do believe in that, having that 1-2 punch of two different backs, but I just, look, I said it after we ran the conditioning test, and whatever that was, July 26th, I guess, the day before we started our first practice, and man, you talk about a guy who was in outstanding shape. Look, all of our guys were, but this guy just looked, he looked like he didn't break a sweat for this thing. And in the first few days of practice, he doesn't look fatigued. And so he's in unbelievable shape. He's worked extremely hard, and he's just, man, he's reliable. He's reliable. He runs heavy. He's tough. He's physical. He gets in a rhythm, and I think he's a catalyst for us. He starts carrying it, and he gets better and better. And I think the line feeds off of him, and he feeds off of them, and we get what we get. So that guy's a stud. He's a stud.
The game was played without a couple of his tackles.
Yeah.
In there, he seemed to do something there in that he knows the lines. He seemed the quick releases, the getting to the outside. Did he, for a lot of the game, kind of have the right game plan against you guys, given what he was working with?
Yeah, I thought Sean had a heck of a plan last week, and he had another one this week. Now, we threw some wrinkles at him, I think we threw a couple of things at him that it was going to take them a minute to adjust to, and they did. But to that point, they adjusted quickly, and Stafford knew exactly, what he needed to do. He knew where his outlets were, and yeah, he was going to get rid of that ball. They were going to go a little tempo on us and some things, and try to apply a little pressure on us. But I thought he played outstanding. I really did, man. And and they got banged up over there, and they just kept coming.
It looked the first time we really got to look at your defensive ends together. I just
Yeah.
What you think to having those two as a pair, and then beyond that, the holding penalty that Hutchinson drew on first and goal from the 1 to set them back.
Yeah,
How important was that
huge play, huge play, and yeah, the ends. I mean, it's really what we. This was the vision the whole time. This is what we knew we were going to get when we got Davenport, and we felt really good about the production Hutch is bringing and brought last year and what he was going to be able to bring this year, and then just the thought of somebody who can crunch the can over there, man, crush the can and send him his way a little bit, or vice versa, and that's what Davenport can do. He's long,
he just did with
he's
those natty
physical,
ice cans.
he's strong, he's a big man. And so that showed up today. You know, it showed up. We were able to hem him up a few times in there, and so those it's good for him. It's going to be good for Hutch, and it's going to be good for Davenport.
The game looked a lot like the last time you guys met this team
last
year. Same quarterback duel, back and forth, same tension. Did you think it would pick up the same way like this? That you would hit the field basically running the same way you were last year?
Yeah, I mean, you don't entirely know what it's going to be like. I just knew this. I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. I did know that. Because I think this coach does a hell of a job. You know, I do. I think Sean always puts together a good game plan. And then in Stafford, man, you know, it's almost like you don't want to hit him because I think when you hit him, he plays better. And, you know, he just continued to make plays. So I think those two guys are always going to give you a damn good chance to hang in there and have success. And so, no, I guess if there's any frustration with me, it's just, look, you don't, you know it's not going to be perfect. You just want it to be cleaner. You just want it to be cleaner than it was. That's all, even for the first game. But ultimately, it's always going to be about we got to get better. And whether we won or lost today, we got to get better. And we won, we still have to get better. And we'll clean all this up, and we got to play better against Tampa next week.
Before you go, the secondary played pretty good overall.
Yeah.
Considering I had those two PI penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Say anything to him? Is there any coaching point on physicality? I guess you.
No, we'll see them tomorrow. When I saw just the replay of both of them, I wasn't too concerned. I know why they threw him, especially the second one. Like, okay, I got it. I understand. It's ticky-tacky, but that's what they do, and they're going to throw it because they believe it, they see it, and all good. We overcome it. But no, I didn't feel like it was some blatant, like, oh, he's out of bad position or I need to talk to him about it. I don't want to take away his stinger, man. I want him to play aggressive. And, look, I thought he did some really good things today. It certainly was not too big for him. He stepped up. I thought Carlton did some good things, too. Really, the back end played pretty good overall, There's a couple of things communication-wise we got to clean up, and we will. We will. Okay.
All right, there you go. We are checked out of the Dan Campbell press conference. He started a little bit earlier, but they didn't have it, so we're here. We got it. We'll see who comes on next, and we'll put them on with more fun with the Chiron as we do. And since we do that, we'll take some phone calls because that's what we do. I'll go ahead and put the number up on the screen. Go ahead and give us a call, 248-782-8384. It's 248-782-8384. You may be interrupted by another interview, and we apologize in advance. But it's likely to happen. We're going to get that interview on. Maybe if you sit with us, we can watch it together, but that's okay, or listen together, but that's okay. Either way, we'll take your calls right now, 248-782-8384. Give us a ring, or you can go ahead and use the Skype at Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
Oh, I had a couple, maybe 3 tall boys.
Can you hear him, Ash? Is it all working? Okay.
I can hear him. Yes.
Okay,
Everything is
cool.
functional.
Sorry, just doing a quick
Let's do this.
A quick test, caller.
You never know until the first caller.
Go ahead, caller. Sorry.
So, I'm making it short and sweet. All I got to say is, go Lions.
I can go with that. I can go with that.
They had me on the
All
ropes
of our
all day. I
closest
mean,
mistakes.
They had you on the.
I was scared all day.
Yeah, it was a nail biter, man. We kind of came out to that lead, and as things started going south, my wife quick turned. She's like, "You can't let him get that." I'm like, "It's one drive. It's okay. These things happen. People score on other teams all the time." And then all of a sudden they scored 17, and I felt like I better chew on my shoe a little bit here. This doesn't look good, but they made it work, man. They made it work. So we're all right.
Amon Ra was quiet all day, which I'm excited for because I played against him in fantasy football. But other than that, at least they won. They pull out the win. That's all that matters.
Yeah. That's exactly what we need. All right, brother. What do you say? What do you say to the victory week 1 and then heading into week 2? What do you think?
Well, a lot of people had Los Angeles being one of the. I've seen some people have them as their Super Bowl favorites over the Lions. So that's our big NFC competition. So we kind of took out top of the NFC with Jordan Love going out. You know, it's all Lions from here on out.
That's
it could
right.
be.
Everything's coming up Lions. And all you have to do, I will leave you with this, caller, is Dan Campbell telling every other team in the NFC North.
I will beat your ass.
Have a good one, brother.
You have a good one.
You do, man. All right, we got that. Let's grab on our next caller here. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink?
It's Mo from the Creek, baby. I had about a couple edibles and a blunt, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, Mo.
It's a very good night.
How's the night in the Creek, brother?
Oh, it's all good, man. You know, I'm actually in Atlanta, but you know, I still gotta rep my city. You know what I mean? So
I know so many people in Atlanta now. Oh my God, I haven't even thought like there's. Man. I was stuck there for 30 hours this summer during that whole CrowdStrike thing, and I was like, I'm not calling. I would have called Mo. I'd have called Mo. I'd have said, Mo, get the kayak. I'm stuck up the creek. Bring the edibles, brother.
I would have set you right, man.
30 hours in the airport is hell. So tell me, brother, tell me everything you know about this team after game 1.
Man, we playing with that true grit. We playing with that, you know, we bringing it down to the wire. You know, I knew today 16 fan bases was going to be upset, and I just pray that we wasn't one of them, and we came out on top.
It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
But look at J-Mo, man. J-Mo waking up. He's appeasing to the fan base. You know, they putting him in more. Ben Johnson is doing his thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the thing is he only had 2 more catches than St. Brown on the day. He just did so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 5 catches, 5 to 3.
Wow.
So but he had a number of times that came up. He did have a run as well for 13 yards. So
yeah, but he averaged like 24 yards versus 4.
Yep.
Right, and about 110 yards more. That was a little bit more flash from James.
That's the difference between those two guys. Yeah, like if St. Brown is going to get you 121 yards, it's probably on 11 catches.
Yeah,
you know. Whereas,
they probably had a game plan for Amon-Ra. You know, they probably were so focused on him they ain't even think about J-Mo, but it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely,
brother. J-Mo could peak. This is from Flounder. He could peak so high by the end of the season. This is game 1 of what we've talked about this a little bit of the new J-Mo, right? Like what he was. What he was when he came here, and what he's become and how he's grown, and he's turned into a competitor that he wasn't when he got here. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, the word from inside the building was he wouldn't work. He was sleeping in meetings in the beginning. It was inauspicious. It was not, and that's like, you know, these are again. these are things we didn't want to talk about so much at the time, but why we weren't feeling good about it, but how the team handled him and helped him understand what he had as an opportunity in front of him, right? And help him grow into where he is now. It's night and day. He's come so far, and he's such a young kid when he came in. You know what I mean? It's you can't. I mean, at his age, I know I wouldn't have come around like he did. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. We would have screwed all that up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But even after the gambling stuff, it was like, man, I hope we didn't draft one of these type, just straight bust that just can't get it together, So I'm glad he turned it around after
that. Yeah. No, that was. Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Titus who?
Oh, Titus who? Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Speaking of JMO, let's get him on. Mo, you good with listening to JMO talk?
All right. Yes, sir.
How good does it feel knowing that the offense can lean on you maybe when other guys aren't?
That's just our offense. And we knew that from the jump that we got stars, we got ball players. One person don't get going, we got other people to lean on. The offense, just shout out to Ben. He called the right plays, and he know the right situations to put us in. They was out there like in and out St. Brown a lot, double teaming them a lot, and somebody else had to make plays, and I just made plays when my number was called.
Jameson, it seems like we've continued to ask you over the last couple of years. Do you feel like you're breaking out? Is this a night starting year 3 where you kind of told the football world that you are here to be an NFL star?
Yeah, I also didn't feel like I was an NFL star, It's just now it's showing. I don't look at this as no different game, It's just the beginning. It's the first game of the season. I got a lot more in me though.
Sucks to hear.
A game win in, getting a full preseason. How valuable was that just to get this start, man? Like actually be mentally prepared?
That was real valuable to me. I think to the team too, and to Goff. We got a real great connection over the spring and the summer throwing. We threw a couple times in practice. We threw a couple times in LA. So it just translated, and the hard work is just finally showing. Not with just me, with the whole team. That was a hard game to win. The Rams was a good team, and the defense helped out a lot. Special teams, everybody came together. We just played to the last seconds of the game. So I would say it feels good, knowing that the hard work is paying off. But we got a lot more to go.
You take us through the touchdown looked like you sold the hitch. Maybe you just took off and grabbed you. Couldn't get enough of that.
Yeah. It was a play we had. We knew who we was gonna run it on, and we had that in motion early in the week. So we worked on it a couple times, and you caught it in the game. Whoever get the pass, it's a mirror play, so it's both sides. So whoever win, get the ball.
Did it feel like the playoff game last year?
Yes, I would say that because the playoff game last year ended 23-24, if I'm not mistaken. It came down to the last seconds, just like this one. This one actually went further, went to overtime. Like I said, the Rams was a good team, and they played real great ball today, and I just feel like we played better and we came out on top because, that's what Coach preached to us, grit, and we go all the way till it's done, and we gonna finish.
It seemed like guys were slipping all over the place. Can you just maybe speak to the field conditions? Did it feel slippery out there at all?
Not to me. I wouldn't say it was slippery, but it's first game. Being on turf for a lot of us. Some of us didn't play in the preseason, so we just like getting back to the turf field. We practice on grass a lot, so that may be a thing. I'm not really sure about the turf. I think it was okay. I don't really know. I ain't slipped.
Dan said of your performance that one of the best things about it was it wasn't even your best game. Do you feel like there's still?
Oh yeah, for sure. This just game one. Like I said, I put in a lot of work. I expected to have a big game. Me personally, I expect to have a big game. I guess it's just big to the world just because it's my first one. But I plan to have a lot more. I don't plan on this being my best game of my career. I plan on this just being the starter. Me being me.
When was the last time
When was the last time you got a game ball?
Game ball? I never got a game ball. Not at Bama, not at nowhere. I ain't even gonna lie. This right here, it might not leave my hands. I might sleep like this.
He's so young. I love it, man.
Yeah. I think it scares the defense a lot because it has a lot of ways. We have a lot of ways to stretch the field. You can get a ball to Gibbs and he can move the chains. You can get a ball to anybody. They can move the chains from the tight ends to the running backs to the receivers. Even Goff, you seen he got down there and he got the first down for us. So, I don't really think it's about speed. I think it's about playmaking. It comes down to who can make the plays, and we make plays. Not just me, Saint. Everybody make plays. So I would say it wouldn't be the speed. It would be the playmaking.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Yes,
he's so young. Just like he's like, yeah, the Rams, they're a really good team. Like you could just tell like he still has that youthful kind of wonder as he's talking about some of these teams. It's great to see a kid like that, man. Wow, man.
Man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But how about that defense though? That was like, I think defense got busy tonight. It was a pretty good scheme that they came up with, and we handled business, man. I think we carried over the momentum from last season, and I think we are a force to be reckoned with in this league.
Yes, we are, and it feels so good.
Can you imagine downtown right now? I mean, it's probably crazy right now.
I saw somebody say, and it could be true because I watched the game, but I don't remember the numbers, that J-Mo has more yards than the entire Chicago offense today.
That's funny. I can't wait to see him too.
All right, Mo. Hey, I'm gonna let you go, brother. We got a bunch of people trying to call in. We want to get those. I have a feeling Jared Goff's gonna show up on the podium as well. He usually does in something like this. So, thank you, man.
Is good. I will talk to you all season long.
I love it. Thank you, Mo. Really appreciate you calling, brother.
All right.
Love you, man.
No problem, man. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.
All right, Mo from the Creek, man. Let's get some more folks in here. See what we can do. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you
You got
talking to me?
Yeah, you got to turn it down in the background. It's really, really loud.
Oh, my bad.
All good. Well, you do that. I'm going to talk about level 20 Bard with his super chat. He said, we knew the Rams wouldn't be easy. Glad to see we toughed it out and kept our grit up. Excited to see us only refine it and get their momentum. Crack one open for the fans out of state. Go Lions. Level 2 Bard. I'll crack one open for you right now. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink?
Hey, it's Ted from the zoo. Since we got Mo from the creek.
Now
zoo.
We got Ted from the zoo. now, Ted, let me ask you.
All right. I had quite a few tonight, though. So.
All right, that's good. That's okay. You're not driving, right? We're okay.
No. I'm chilling at the crib.
All right. Hey, okay, Ted, we're going to get Jared Goff on right now. Are you okay with that?
That's cool.
You hang with us? All right, stay with us.
Plays from him all night. He did a great job.
Seemed like a kind of an uncharacteristically quiet night for St. Brian Reporter. What were they doing?
I don't know if they were doing anything in particular. I think the theme of tonight we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. Certainly offensively, just we had some plays there that we could have had, and I got to be better with the cadence for our guys and be a little smoother there on the operational stuff, and that alone would solve a lot of problems tonight that we had, but it just wasn't our smoothest, but a win's a win. We got to be happy about it.
How fun was that overtime drive?
Yeah, it was good.
Hand the ball off,
Just hand it to Demo, man, that battering ram. Just hand it to him, and he did the rest. It was fun. It was fun watching him kind of catch that second win there in that overtime, and our O-line the same way. And then I was joking with him when we called we called the play on the 1 yard line, and it was like, this is scoring. There was no doubt, and punched it in. It was great.
He said, Jan was saying, is it a little bit of rest? You guys hadn't played none in the preseason at all. I mean, obviously, it's your practice, but it's week one. Is it a little rust and start shaking out a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's certainly things that were below our standard. But yeah, some of operational stuff is ultimately my job, and it wasn't good enough. Good enough for a win, wasn't good enough for our standard.
One more on David. Dan said the other day, like his ability to set a tone at the beginning of the game, physical running, and close it out. And we saw, I guess, an example of both of that tonight, and what that means for the offense.
Yeah, man, he's our tone setter. He's a leader. He's the guy when the game's on the line, we want to find him. You remember last year in the playoff game, we threw it to him on, I think, first or second down there. So, man, he's as valuable to our team as anybody.
You guys punted it away with a little bit over 4 minutes left. Just how great was it to see the response of your defense to go out there and get it back for you?
Yeah, it was a tough sequence for us. Stalled out a couple times. I throw the pick, almost throw another one, and then we get the punt off, and defense gets a stop, and then we go down and get the field goal. So, yeah, we bounced back nicely. It was nice to see that. Ultimately, we did enough to win the game, and it does feel good.
When overtime began, did you feel like that's how you guys could win it, just hammering it as opposed to throwing a lot in overtime?
Yeah, you never know. It was what we wanted to do there at the end. I don't know, we throw it twice there and on that drive. So, yeah, as soon as one of those runs pops with him, you kind of come back to the well and see if we can get it again.
Jared, this is the first overtime win for this team since 2016.
Wow. Yeah, I think, ultimately, I think it shows that we didn't play our best game and still won. And a ton of stuff to clean up, a ton of things to get better at. And it does feel a little bit like week one last year, where it's like, yeah, we kind of like we're making some mistakes, but we're able to get the win anyways. And for it to be in overtime, it is special. And one, I think, months from now, we'll look back and be happy we have.
David, last question.
Good job, Jared.
I like that watch. Everyone compliment David's watch. It looks good.
There you go. All right. Woo, Jared Goff making a set. What? Sorry, I should get real quiet. You're gone. I lost your voice.
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
All right. So we got Ted from the zoo. Air zoo, right?
All right. I got about 3 points to make, and then I'm gonna try to get off the air. I don't want to hold the call line too long.
Appreciate you, brother. Okay, what do you got for us?
All right, my first one is, I've been a Lions fan since I was young. I'm only 24, but Matthew Stafford never won these games. We never won like primetime games with Matthew Stafford, and it always hurt, but. Yeah. Thankfully, with Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, Brad Holmes to put the talent around them, we always win them nowadays.
Dude, that's a great point. That is a great point. It's so many heartbroken primetime games when Staff was here. Man. Not to blame Staff, right? The team but he was part of it. We just didn't do it. You're right. That's a great point, man.
We never won those games. That's my first point. My second point, Chris Collinsworth on NBC is pretty bad. I'm sorry, but watching him with any quarterback, Mahomes, Stafford, like them type of guys, I mean, he never gives Jared Goff his credit, I feel like. And when you watch, it's almost like, okay, we up 17-3. You would think the Rams was up 17-3 just because how he's talking about Matthew Stafford. Like any little thing that happens. I mean, the other night I lost my mind when Mahomes almost threw a pick and he caught his own pass and he was like raving over it. It's like he almost blew the game. What are we doing? That's my second point. My third point and my final point is, I mean, Amon-Ra is a $30 million receiver now. We got to accept that. And I'm happy for J-Mo. J-Mo is, I mean, a fan favorite. He's my favorite. I got his jersey. But Amon-Ra is a $30 million receiver. We got to get him the ball. We can't not get him the ball. So that's my last point. I'm going to let y'all talk about it. I'm going to end the call. Thank you for taking my call.
All right. Hey, thank you, Ted. Appreciate you calling, man. You got to give Mo from the Creek some run, all right? Ted from the zoo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, shout out to Mo from the Creek. I always listen, and he call in every day. So
you too.
Every time we win, every time we lose, he always there. So shout out to Mo from the Creek.
You too, brother. All right. We'll see you next week after another win, okay? All right.
Mike dead?
All right. Okay. Ash, I want you to make some noise. Caller, before I put you on, I need you to turn down the volume in the background.
you hear me at all?
Okay, I got you there. All right. Hey,
Okay,
caller,
good.
what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
My name is Joe from Grand Haven. Had about 4 2-hearteds and 2 glasses of rosé.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So did you guys have a heart attack too when JMO went down, or was that just me?
Oh.
I was watching the whole season flash before my eyes because that would have been unpleasant. Like, I love Khalif Raymond, but he's not doing what Amo did tonight. He just doesn't add that.
Yeah. I was okay. And I think I said this to Ash. I've said this to like 3 people. I said, this is the year of JMO's breakout. This is the year that's going to happen. Here's the thing. If you go through Lions history, and if you want to feel that lionized kind of thing, he's going to get injured, and it's going to set it all aside, and it's going to be a big, hairy, ugly thing. When I saw that, I was like, I am terrified. I didn't want to say it to anybody because I was worried I was speaking it into reality, but he got right back in the game, so I felt okay. I was terrified.
But is that considered SOL?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So are we there, or have we surpassed that?
We've surpassed it, but so these feelings are hard. These feelings are hard. When I was go ahead.
So it's PTSD.
That's
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it.
I said whole season flash before
that's
my
what
eyes.
I had tonight
I'm
too.
talking going from 11 wins to 10.
11 wins.
Not that we'd suddenly be a 3-win team. Like it's not that bad, but yeah. And it's
So no. Basically, what I was just getting at, entertaining that thought is, is that Patrick guy going to be sustainable, or do we honestly have to think about possibly getting someone else via trade or however you want to do that?
My friend, you are overlooking the inimitable.
I was just thinking about security.
Tom Kennedy is who we elevated this week.
At least he can throw a pass.
Yeah. Which adds a whole nother wrinkle, right? Which is I think actually why we picked him up, because we just thought maybe we want to pull a little something. So yeah, I'll tell you, it is PTSD, and I didn't expect it, but I didn't want to speak it into reality. That whole thing about JMO, and I as I sit here and watch, I just don't think it's going to happen. I know we've turned the corner. You know what I mean? And if it does, what we've seen from this team throughout the seasons prior in the last 2 years is we have guys that step up and do it. They're not the same, but they just step up and make it happen. And that's where I feel we're going to be. So you can always fear the monster that chased you before, right? But
right. Oh, absolutely. But do you think now, with what he just shown in a brief moment, should he be more of a focal point than Amon-Ra?
So no, I think what's going to happen is
absolutely not.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is the defenses will dictate who gets the ball, because
he's
one
like
group
the
of those
good
guys will be
third,
open.
fourth option.
You're talking about JMO?
Yeah, he's like the good third, fourth option that can get hot.
So no, so think about it like this. He's going to be your streaker that goes deep. He's going to open up and work the deep part of the field, right? You've got Laporta and Amon-Ra who are going to just destroy the middle of the field. And then you have Monty and Gibbs who can take it out of the backfield, right? So you kind of have like shallow, mid, and deep players available. Whoever this defense is going to give you when you're playing that week, because that's their preferred defense that they think they're going to be best at trying to stop you. Whoever they give you, because they're going to have to give you someone, is who the number one set of receivers are going to be that week. I really genuinely believe that the threat that we pose, defenses are just going to try to play their best defense, but we have too many options for a team to truly be able to put the shutdown on us. That aside, it is up. Jared Goff can't have a bad week. You're right, because he's the one guy that connects to all three levels of the receivers. So I think there's weeks where Saint's going to be number one. There's weeks where JMO's going to be number one, and there's weeks where the running backs are going to have gigantic catch and run numbers. It's just, it depends who we're playing and how they play us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, because I think that's essentially why Ben Johnson came back, is because he knew what he had with probably a healthy and good spirits JMO.
Yeah.
And then obviously, how could you have a bad week if you're Jared Goff? Do you know who he just married? The guy is doing great.
Well,
and the contract he just got, I mean, how could you have a bad week ever?
So
if this guy could have a bad week, I'm in a bad spot.
But here's the thing, right? If I'm him and I've got that situation at home, every day when I leave, I'm walking out of the house dehydrated, right? and depleted, just in desperate needs of an IV and electrolytes.
Yeah, he needs to knock her up so he doesn't get that luxury anymore. For sure. All right. Well, yeah, no, appreciate you guys letting me call in. Thank you very much. This is the first time I've even seen your pod, so definitely looking forward to it.
Appreciate you,
the rest
brother.
of the year.
No, awesome. Love to hear it.
For sure.
Thanks for giving us a run, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, boys.
All right. You too. We'll see you. It's Monday. Who knew?
It is Monday.
It's Monday already. Let's get into it. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink?
Well, I've had quite a bit to drink, but it was just the right amount, actually.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm good. I'm with you.
Yeah, I had about 6 beers and 1 doobie, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
What do you got for us,
The point
buddy?
I wanted to make was when it came right down to it at the end, once we won that coin toss, we just ran the ball down their throats, and they couldn't do anything about it, and that was great to see.
It felt like at that point we finally put our hands on their throat and took control of the game. Like before that, everything felt kind of flighty. Like it was like one way or the other. It didn't feel that whole drive. It just felt like we were choking them out, and we had full control.
Absolutely.
Naked. Rear naked choke. Had the hooks in. No, that was it. That was there. It was like there was a confidence that I had. We won the call. So first off, I do want to go to Stafford and Goff in the middle of the field. The class that they showed each other at the coin toss. That actually was really cool to see, because I had my hate goggles on, you know what I mean? And I was like, "Arr!" And then they're like, you see the two guys that are actually in battle being genuinely wonderful human beings to one another. It's like, God damn you, you're both better people than I am.
Just hate each other.
Couldn't you
why can't you be more petty?
So shout out to both of them for that. But when we got, we won the toss, we got the ball, and we started running it, and Monty was going like that. It was like you could just feel it. It's like, oh, this is over. This is over. We're at their 40, and it just felt like it was already over. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. One more point I wanted to make earlier, just moments before that, earlier in the game, when the Rams had the ball and Carlton Davis had that easy interception that he dropped.
Oh.
And then was he lying there because he was hurt or because he was embarrassed? I wasn't sure, because I don't think he was really injured. I think he was just embarrassed that he didn't catch that ball. Like, that was right in his hands.
I kind of worried he was hurt, but I hope you're right. I hadn't even thought about the embarrassment angle. Oh, man. Oh, that was ugly. That was ugly.
All right. In the chat says a little bit of A, a little bit of B. It's a lot more that's for sure.
All right, my man. We're going to let you go. We're going to bounce into a couple more callers, and we're going to roll through it. Yeah, we're seeing emotional injury. We've seen all kinds of landing on the ball. I think Flounder the ball went wild. But, caller, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks a lot for taking my call.
Yeah, we'll look for you at next post game. I got to tell everybody, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Next game, we're not actually going to have a post game show. I hate to say it. We're not going to be able to put it together. All right, let's see. We got another caller coming right now. We'll get this going here. Next week we're not going to have a post game show. I may put something together, be able to put something together. I know Ash is up trying to get Russell Brown in here to do some work with Ash for a post game. So we'll see. But I apologize. It's just it's my anniversary, and I would be murdered if I didn't spend time on my anniversary all day with my wife of a number of years. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
Hey, it's great to be on. I've been a listener for a long time. I've had more than a little, and a little less than a lot.
There you go. So you're right in the zone. You're like in the second game of a bowling evening.
Yes, I'm.
We're in the flow state.
My brother and I are season ticket holders. We became season ticket holders last year, and we were at the game tonight. And as you can probably hear in my voice, the voice was gone probably in about 5 minutes. It's crazy how the fans, the atmosphere is this crazy for a week 1 game.
Yes. There's a lot of pent up fan excitement that's finally coming out. And I'll tell you, I don't want to, Gray, who we're going to see more of, just so you know, in the future. He made a great point about the parallels between the Seahawks and the Lions and how they built and how the teams were going. One of the things about the Seahawks was they suddenly have 12, the 12th man, the whole noisy crowd and it kind of whatever. But I really am getting a sense the Lions are taking on that role with their crowd and with the people at Ford Field, that there's just an energy now. And it is so loud at Ford Field, even on TV when they're trying to mute it and shut it down. It's absolutely palpable. I mean, it's just fantastic to see that crowd go nuts. And I mean, let me ask you, as a season ticket holder who was there, what was it like? I mean, how much of an ebb and a flow was there throughout the game? Because it felt loud for the majority of the time.
So, at least where we were, and we happened to be sitting next to a couple of Rams fans, and a couple of them, made the remarks every time Jared Goff missed a throw about, that's why we gave him to you, and it was just kind of crazy that the Rams fans threw Goff away, but every time Goff stepped on the field, all you heard Lions fans chant was Jared Goff's name again and again and again. And, even when the game was close, even when the Stafford was hitting the short intermediate throws again and again, the crowd noise didn't go anywhere. It was consistent to the point where when I left the stadium, I stepped outside into silence. The silence was deafening almost.
Wow. Ooh, so what was it like outside the stadium afterward? What was the general juice going on?
Now, I think if the Lions are fortunate to finish the deal this year and there's a Super Bowl parade, I think the governor may need to activate the National Guard because Detroit is ready.
Oh man. So you make it, the governor's team reached out to us to come on the show and for no political reason at all, other than people get wound up. We had to turn it down. Just, you mentioned the governor. I was like, I'd love to talk to any of those people, but we're just not political at all. We won't take any sides or do any of that stuff. But yeah, that would probably be the plays, get the National Guard out there.
My last point before I let you guys go is, as I was watching the game, I kept wondering, when is Dan Campbell or when is Ben Johnson going to pull out that first trick play, right? The defenders, it seemed like the defenders the whole game were about 8 or 9 yards off the line from J-Mo. They were deathly afraid he was going to beat him over the top. And I kept waiting for that, the double pass or something, and When do you think that Ben Johnson's going to pull that first trick play out?
I tell you, here's one I saw getting set up all night. I think, and Ash, I'm interested in what you saw or what you think. The backward pass to the running back on kind of a swing, and then they would take it and run. It was always, there was like 4 or 5 backward passes, and those are always dangerous, right? You always want you're running back to be a little bit ahead of the pass and moving forward. And I feel like this is kind of the long game setup for, that's just how we run that play. And then they're gonna let one loose. I don't know. I can't say, and I don't know anything for sure, but that one looked pretty interesting. And I know they're working on one. I don't want to give too much away. We saw a hint of it at training camp, but they've been working on one in secret that I can't wait to see. And you'll know it because it's just an audacious, like, holy F kind of a play. When you see it, you'll hear it here. We'll tell you. That's the one. But absolutely, they've got a couple up their sleeve here. I'm pretty excited for what they've got coming.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking my call. You guys run a great show. I just want to thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, brother. All right. We're just going to keep bringing them in, getting the calls in. When we bring in the callers, remember, you got to turn down the volume in the background. Hey, caller, what's your name? Let's go. It's okay. It's all good.
My name is King of Kona. I'm here in Hawaii.
No, what part?
The Big Island.
Ooh. Any pineapple farms around?
They've mostly got rid of those, but I got a bunch in my backyard, about 72 of them.
God damn. I could smell them on the line. How you doing, King Kona?
Man, I'm really good, man. I left Michigan about 5 years ago, and I've been following you guys for a long time. You're my outside, I need to find somebody that's from Detroit and that, so I'm following your station all the time, Bish and Brown, the whole 9 yards. And I just wanted to get in and ask these guys what they thought about Ben Johnson's offense. It seems like it's changed up since last year, or am I mistaken? Hello?
Well, part of that is that basically the personnel has changed a little bit. There is no Josh Reynolds. That's going to make things a little bit different. We don't have that big-bodied receiver, so we're going to be doing stuff more kind of similar to what you've seen probably from the Dolphins over the last couple of years, where they have a bunch of guys who are about 6 feet tall, about 185 pounds, run a 4.340 on the outside. We're probably going to see a lot more of stealing from them.
I know all the players. I know all the players, dude. I'm just wondering, it looked a little different this year than what we've seen last year, whether or not there was a big body or not. It seemed like there was many men in motion all the time, even though there was quite a bit, but it just looked a little different to me, and I wanted to know their opinion about that, if they thought it looked different.
Well, yeah, and that's why. Is because we don't have the same guys. So they're just doing different stuff.
And right now, the sun is setting
that's how you get little guys
in Hawaii. And so is it on the NFC North. We've got this. Fuck the Fudge Packers. Fuck the Bears. Oh, the Vikings won. Wow, I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not worried about the division. You have to worry about the division, but the Packers got some trouble, right? Jordan Love being hurt. We get to see Malik Willis. We get to see a lot of stuff come true there. Sam Darnold, I don't know what the heck happened there. I don't know how he pulled that out. He played okay, but hey, good show for you. Even the blind squirrels get one. Chicago, their defense sealed the game there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
rookie quarterback.
Yeah. They're gonna have
90 yards passing.
90 yards passing. Yep. They have a growing year ahead of them. Look, long term, they have a lot to be worried about. You know what I mean? But Right now, they're still figuring it out. They're still growing, and hopefully, they do the Chicago thing where they burn it down right before things actually come together.
It's been a pleasure. I mean, really, I watch you guys all the time. Like I said, you're my outside information here, living in the Big Island, and let's go to the Super Bowl. All right.
You got it.
I was born in 59, and my old man used to tell me about all the games in 57, 56, 54, whatever. I never lived that. And this is the closest thing I'm living to my dad's dream.
Yeah. Well, carry it, man. Carry it with you, because it's right now is the time. Right now is absolutely the time. All right, brother. Enjoy the Hawaiian life. I know you will. It's hard not to, right? But spend some time, and thank you for listening. Call in, bring us some more of that love out there, brother.
Yeah, the Hawaiian aloha spirit.
That's right.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, mahalo, brother.
Aloha.
Ciao. Throw the Italian at the end, right? Oh my goodness. Let's get one rolling here. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much you made to drink? And why is your thing so loud in the background?
Sorry about that. It's Doc Zay from the Slack. How you doing?
Doc Zay, how you doing, man? Welcome.
What's up, bro?
We know
man,
we got
what a
intelligent
great
one going
game.
here. Oh, you know, I'll tell you what. The thing about this that made it, like, look, as a fan, it's great. You just, like, especially in week one, you want to go out, you want to stomp them, you want to win by 356 points, right? That would be the ideal game.
Absolutely.
But boy, the emotional ride that we went through just made it that much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it was supposed to be stressful, you know? You know, we consume all this content all off season, and it makes you think like you're just going to walk through every game, and then it's like, oh shit, no, we might lose.
Yeah. I have to give LA Rams take thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that.
I saw that. Ash, I was you were in the middle of giving a good answer on that last question about what was different with the offense, and you got cut off. I just wanted to ask you if you could finish that answer, because I was curious about what was different about it too.
The thing is, when you have smaller receivers, you have to do more to get them open, and that involves things like pre-snap motion, so that you can't basically hit them up in press coverage. Like Khalif Raymond isn't going to line up on the line and beat a corner in press coverage very often just because of the size disparity between the two guys. So basically this year, because we don't have a traditional X receiver, you're going to see a lot of stuff done with formations and things like that to basically stop these guys from just getting stuffed at the line. That's the
no, that makes sense.
Why things are going to look a little different this year.
You think it's just a matter of getting Tim Patrick or Allen Robinson worked in, or do you think those guys are probably cooked and this is what we're looking at all year?
Oh, it's so hard to tell. Because, like, I mean, it's not like the Broncos have the greatest wide receiver group in the history of football. You know what I mean? It's you know, you hate to say that a guy can't do anything, because a couple years ago he did do a thing, and maybe the coaches just don't like that guy for whatever reason or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't say there's a 0% chance that either of those guys do anything, but I think you're looking, like with Allen Robinson, your best case scenario is you end up with something probably kind of like what Antoine Bolden was when he came to Detroit, where he was like the hollowed out husk of what he used to be, but you can still get something out of that. That's still an NFL player. That makes sense. And with Patrick,
no, that's fair.
He was great for like 4
yards.
yards.
Like it probably just comes down to his health. Yeah, that's exactly it. He had his use, and they used it a lot because Eric Ebron sucked, and that was supposed to be his job.
Okay, we started on Ebron.
Yeah, so you might get something, but if either of those guys get more than 20, 25 receptions on the year, I'll be pretty shocked. And I don't think there's any way both of them get that many. It just,
that's fair.
There's no way to know. Like, I hope so.
Well, hey, I appreciate
really nice if they
I
could.
appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Doc
Yeah, I
say.
mean it'll be great. It'll be great if they showed up this year. But yeah, I don't have high expectations.
Yeah.
Colin Robinson came in and got 80 catches for 1,200 yards. I would be absolutely just psyched about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it, but it'd be nice.
Doc say.
But seriously, I know it's late. I appreciate y'all doing the late night show for us. I'm gonna let y'all get to some other callers, but it's always good to hear from y'all.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you really quick. What did you think about the mental health episodes? Did you listen?
Oh,
to
you
those?
know I loved them.
Yeah, I know.
You know I listened to every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to see us getting a little run.
Yeah. Think about it. We'll talk.
Hey, you just call me. You know where to find me. I'm always here.
All right, brother. I can find you in the Slack. It's the closest spot. All right, be good. We'll see you, Doc.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
Ciao, brother.
Bye.
All right, Doc Z. Let's do this. Calls keep coming, and so do I. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink so far?
About too short of a 30 rack.
Damn, 30 rack. Obviously, we haven't been driving, right? We've been taking care of ourselves and the people around us appropriately.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, that's it. That's all I need, man. How you feeling? We got a Lions victory, and
win.
We got that first one of how many more? 19 more to go? 18 more to go this season?
About 18, I think, and then hopefully more after that.
Yeah, we'll just keep it running. Let's just do it to like 2030, and then we'll get sick of winning. Then maybe we'll win a little more.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got for us, brother?
I gotta say, we gotta trust the process here. I mean, listening to everybody talk about JMO and everything, he's gonna take attention off of St. Brown and everybody else, and that's what we need. Spread the wealth a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And again,
She done it last year.
Always
I'd say God's contract might not be so high. It's 1,000 yards instead of 1,500. What are we looking at for that dollar value? You know, all I'm saying. But I'm glad he's here.
Absolutely, he's a good kid too. He's humble.
Yeah, and frankly, if you look at him comparatively to the other contracts that have been signed since, he's actually pretty cheap at this point.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh,
him
absolutely.
and Goff, man, it's nuts.
Goff is the 6th highest paid quarterback in the league right now. He won't even be top 10 by the end of this year. So everyone who whined about that contract, just shut up.
6 months after he signed it, he's like the 6th highest paid quarterback. We talked about it, man. God, people
doesn't get cheaper. Every day you wait, that dollar value goes up. Should have done that a year ago.
Triple threat to take the attention off of St. Brown and everybody else, and we're going to do good.
I see. The JMO breakout, I think, is one of the things that's it brings so much to this offense and gives us so much flexibility. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. Monty, the power that he put out there on that last drive. I mean, what do you do when you have JMO speeding down the sideline? You got Monty just pounding it in people's mouth. You got Jahmyr, who's taking a pass in the flat and just hauling balls. And you got St. Brown and Laporta just tearing up the middle of the field. What do you do?
Absolutely.
You just don't. You can cover a couple of those guys, but not all of them.
And being out here in California, I got a lot of Rams fans that I hang out with. And I just sent a picture of a train running through a bus for Demo.
Well, send it with a little audio. Give him a little.
I will beat your ass. These nuts.
Give him a double shot. What part of California in?
Sonoma County.
Oh, all right, cool. It's a nice area.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out if you guys will let me.
Yeah.
My cousin Ron Crackman.
Crackman, it's your cousin?
Yeah, Jackie Crackiole is my name. The Crackiole family.
Yeah, no shit. Well, welcome, brother. That's we got royalty here in the house, Ash.
I wouldn't say royalty, but yeah, lifelong Detroit fan, Red Wings, Tigers, and Lions.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Pistons back in the 80s, absolutely.
Do you remember when the Red Wings used to have the guy Mo Cheese dancing in the stands? It's the 90s.
When was that? For the 80s.
The 90s. He had the Stanley Cup on his head and he would dance in the thing. Mo Cheese. He worked for me. He was an awesome dude. He was an awesome dude.
Decade.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Grandma Betty had all the jerseys signed by the starting line.
No way. Wow. Damn.
Yeah, we go back a ways in Detroit a little bit.
There you go. Well, let's see. Next, we're going to have to figure out a time because Crackman goes to all the away games, doesn't he?
He does, and I didn't get to go to the NFC Championship game, but I met up with him at the bar that we shut down over in Santa Clara the night before.
Yep.
And met with Penei Sewell's parents, and I got to tell you that Penei Sewell and his parents, you put his dad in there, he'll do just good.
Yeah, for real. So, hey, I'm going to be at the Buffalo game for sure. Let's see, because Crackman's great. And I reached out to him when we did our Blandino thing. It just didn't work out for us to hook up, but let's get together. I mean, we'll all find a way to get together and have some good times.
What is it, December 30th?
15th is the Buffalo game, December.
The Buffalo going to come out West Coast to the Niners-Lions game out here?
I might try to do that. I need to. The way my plans go, I'm going to need about 1 or 2 more plane tickets to get my diamond status this year. So that might be a good excuse to to put something like that together.
I'd talk him into it. Well, I don't have to talk him into it. He's already going to be out here, but sure. And then I'll be at that game.
All right. Hey, brother, we're going to go. We got a stack of calls still going, and we want to get through them all so we can go to bed because we all got the work thing tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Take care.
All right. We'll talk to you. See you.
Peace.
All right. Here we go. Let me hit Chiro Nord Z. Greetings from Kuala Lumpur. It seemed like Stafford was exposing the zone coverage at will, but AG didn't switch. Was AG protecting his young corners from too much man coverage in game 1? I'm going to hand that to you, Ash, while our friendly caller, who can hear us right now, can turn it down in the background, and we'll get you on the air in just 1 second, caller.
So as to answer that question, because the pre-snap motion was just revealing whether it was zone or whether it was man, and whether it was zone or whether it was man, they would do something different with the ball. Like you saw like Rakestraw when he was in sprinting the entire way across the formation, following whoever he was covering. It's not because it was man covered. It's when that happens. Yeah. So I don't think I really am not 100% sure what the ratio of zone to man coverage was in this game, but I don't think they were really trying to save the rookie corners because for example, on the defensive pass interference play, that was perfect man coverage. He was in right there.
All right. Let me grab this caller. We got a caller on the line here. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far? And how about them damn Lions?
What's happening, Chris? This is Nick. How much do I have to drink? I don't know, probably 14 or 15 beers today. I got to the bar pretty early.
That's a
had
victory.
to lock down a spot.
Yeah, no, that's
It was over 8 hours, so I'm actually doing all right.
Okay, cool. What do you got for us today, Nick? I know a Lions victory brings out the best in everybody.
It does, but I feel like all the calls have been pretty high on the Lions and stuff. I'm a high too because of course we won, but what do you guys think of the defense, man? I thought it was pretty frustrating to see Stafford just connect endlessly on 5-8 yard passes to Kupp and everybody else, and outside of the very first drive of the game that went 3 and out, the Rams were like, they had drives of, I looked it up. They had drives of 13, 12, 9, 3, 11, 7, 10, and 6 plays. Like, we didn't shut them down at all. It just seemed like a crazy inability to get a stop. And this is against, like, you know, their shitty O-line and no Puka and, you know, like, what the F, man? So I don't want to be, like, super negative, but, like, I don't know. What did you guys see? Do you think, was it, like, our inability to adjust? Because they just seemed to be, like, doing this short game and we just couldn't stop it, or we didn't try to stop it, or I don't know. It just was frustrating to see the defense not really, like, come up strong against that team. Especially when they were kind of down as well.
Yeah. I think there's a couple things going on here. I think first, it's week 1. Second, our ones never played together. Third, I think McVay did a really, really good job scheming around his deficiencies. And we saw it, especially on the first drive, the constant, it was, if you think about it, it was a 2-minute drill. It was constant short out passes to the wide receivers. And what's his name? Collinsworth is like, he's just hitting his first read. No, it was designed that way. It was just out to try to walk down the field to try to get the defense to soften around him a little bit, because it was just he could deliver a ball very quickly, and before the rush even ever had a chance to materialize, no matter how bad that line was. And I think that's kind of, you know, McVay's a smart guy. I will agree. I am a little concerned about that defensive line. We saw some good out of them. We saw a lot of holding and face mask and stuff against Hutch that, you know, didn't get called a lot, whatever. I don't know. Are we going to get enough pressure this season on opposing quarterbacks to really cause the problems we need to in their backfield? And I'm gonna defer to Ash here for a minute and give him an opportunity to say, Chris, you're absolutely wrong, and here's why.
Thank you, Arm. But I think DJ Reader's going to come in and fix a lot of this problem. It's, I guess, basically the hope that I think Lions fans can hold, because you go from a guy who was on our practice squad to a guy who plays the position as well as anyone in the NFL for 40 snaps a game. When DJ Reader comes in instead of the people who are playing that role tonight, basically. Which is going to open up a whole bunch of things, because he's not a particularly spectacular pass rusher, but he is good enough that it's a problem for opposing teams, which will then give us Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, and DJ Reader, who all do have to be dealt with significantly. And then actually Marcus Davenport, I suspect, is going to have a pretty good PFF grade tomorrow.
Yeah,
he was applying pressure all night. And like, who knows how long he'll be healthy, but on a per game basis, he is a very important player for the Lions this year, because he is the chosen one. If we have a guy who is going to give us pressure across from Hutch, it's Marcus Davenport.
Well, if you think about it, between Davenport and Houston, you have a solid NFL player for a season.
Yes, hopefully. That is what they've bet on this year,
and
as far as the pass rush goes.
Levi did look good. I'm optimistic on what he's got to bring this year. I think it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better out of him. So, no, there's definitely cause for concern. Go ahead, caller.
I was just going to say, you know, here's a thought that I had is, like, I feel like, you know, obviously, like everybody here, I track the off season incredibly closely, and just, you know, so excited to see how we're going to do. And, you know, we got Davenport, and, you know, Aleem McNeil's playing better, and Levi's back, and, you know, so there's a lot of excitement around what the defensive line is going to do. And of course, we got to improve secondary, supposedly, and you know, all that's supposed to you know, deliver some improvement. I don't feel like the level of pressure that we were getting today felt any different than last year. There was a lot of close calls that didn't come through. You know, a lot of pressures from Hutch that weren't sacks. And, you know, it was just kind of disappointing. I was just hoping for more, especially, again, against what is supposed to be like a pretty when their left tackle went out. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I think
They were also throwing the ball in 2 seconds. You know, like it's.
No, I know, but okay, you're
is
right.
what it
I
is
totally
at that
agree.
point.
But then, like, I
You
guess
can't
that
get
was my
pressure in
first
2
point.
seconds. It's not possible.
Was like, then why, like, from like an adjustment standpoint, like, why aren't like the cornerbacks like tighter or something?
So
you know, if like
here's where I'll kind of take a look at it or think about it in a more broad context. They only scored 20 points in a football game, and if the other team only scores 20, and frankly the Lions should score at least 28 per game with the offense that they have. I'm feeling okay about it. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't gorgeous. There was all kinds of opportunities to clean things up, but holding the Rams and Stafford and Cooper Kupp to 20 points, I think I'm okay with that. I can sit there and completely agree with what you said, right? By what I saw and start breaking down individual plays, but at the end of the day, it was only 20 points, and I think we can beat a team that puts 20 points up on us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I hear you. But you know, hopefully it's a week 1 thing and we get better.
Yeah. Well, call us back.
That is the thing. It's week 1. Don't draw any conclusions. You know.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Draw 0 conclusions this week.
It's true.
Right.
It's all fool's gold in week 1, man.
Alrighty. You know, I'll let you get on the caller. I'll just hang up after this comment. But I was just going to say, I know Terry and Arnold kind of, you know, he had a couple penalties, but I was actually happy to see the way he played. I thought, aside from the penalties, like it looked like he held up pretty well. Like he wasn't overwhelmed. He wasn't getting like smoked by dudes. You know,
yeah.
He didn't seem like out of his element, even though probably it wasn't his finest game. It was like, you know, pretty. I don't know, reassuring to see that he looked like he fit in, aside from a couple, you know, miscues and penalties here and there.
And I don't mean to dog the guy, but Vildor, they picked on, right? They picked on him. They didn't pick on Terrion. And this is his first NFL game. I think pretty early they realized they couldn't, right? And for a cornerback in the NFL, it's a 2 to 3 year process to really find your way. I mean, Sauce is obviously a different breed, and maybe that's a shift in how cornerbacks are coming out of college now, and Sauce is like the first kind of indication of that. But for game 1 in the NFL, and not to be just, especially with a guy like Stafford, he's gonna find your weak dude out there, and they're gonna put Kupp on him, or they're gonna use Kupp as a decoy and put somebody else on him, and they're gonna pick on that guy. And they just didn't. Even when Naku was in there, they couldn't. They just couldn't eat off of him like they could in a lot of other rookies. It bodes well. Week 1, like Ash said, no giant conclusions, but there's definitely some indicators that are positive, and there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up.
Gotcha. All right, I'll let you guys get going. Thanks
All right,
as
brother.
always.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. All right, we'll see you, man. All right. Through here. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far? Here we go. There we go. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Oh man, I couldn't be any better. Got a Lions win. It's 118. Got work tomorrow. It's all good.
Yeah, I feel that. So I got a question for y'all.
Yeah, bring it. Bro.
How important do you think it was, not only for a week 1 very difficult matchup, to show that getting Laporta and Amon-Ra kind of eliminated out of the game, that it didn't matter and we could adapt to that, no problem, and still run in a high octane, move the ball down the field? How important do y'all think that was, just to show the team that we're on the same page?
I think this is going to be interesting. we scored 17 points unanswered, and then they scored 17 points unanswered. And when they were scoring those 17 points and we couldn't, they took away Laporta and Amon-Ra, and they really put the clamps on us, and we weren't able to adjust on exactly what we needed to, where we needed to hit. And then all of a sudden, we got it. Like we suddenly kind of found the way, and were able to kind of split the field to where we needed to split it. And then there was the overtime piece. I think there's a little bit of learning from Jared Goff and Ben Johnson about how the field is going to present itself to you as your threats and your targets make hay or find their opportunities. I'll put it that way. And I don't think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. By the way,
I think we're more used to dictating rather than reading and play and using the players that are uncovered, because you've never had that many, right? You've never had that many guys. And I think that's where it's a little bit differently. Ash, again, tell me I'm absolutely bananas here, but I think it's a little bit different now because we have the opportunities and we're trying to find where to put the ball based on how the defense is playing us, rather than trying to force the defense into something that we then try to make happen. Does that make sense, or am I just tired because it's late?
Oh, no, absolutely. That's why I was saying how important you guys think that was, because it was kind of a little bit newer scenario. I mean, there was a couple games last year where Amon-Ra maybe didn't put up his typical numbers, same with Laporta, but it wasn't maybe down to this level. But we kind of just kept our head moving forward. We adjusted. I know it's week one, so even looking at the Rams defensively, they still got to make some adjustments and et cetera. But I think going forward and other teams seeing that it didn't phase us, yeah, we had our complications, but when it came down to it, we finished. I think that's scary. I think that's very scary for other teams. I think that's going to really help us improve, especially with Ben Johnson being able to see how to adjust. And Jameson Williams, and people are about to see what he can do. People forget how great he was at Alabama. Johnson being able to see how to adjust. And Jameson Williams, and people are about to see what he can do.
We're getting that echo going. Ash, anything you want to add there, brother?
Honestly, not really. It's week one. We got out with a W, which is the only thing that matters. There are no asterisks. It's ridiculous to say that there are. But yeah, knocked the rust off, got the win. That's really kind of what you want to see. Like, the offense was absolutely not clicking on all cylinders, but they're never going to for 4 quarters. That just isn't going to happen. It was just nice to see that we scored in the 3rd quarter.
All right. There you go.
That's a good point, but I would almost say outside of the Chiefs, was there a single offense this entire week that actually was clicking? Week one, so make adjustments. But I'm excited to see what this team can do.
Yeah. University of Florida was clicking, but they played Samford. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Be well, man. No, check in next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Or we're not going to do a show next week. Sorry. Check in the week after. I think week 3 is going to be a good time to have this conversation and reminisce about what we were talking about here, because I think we're going to have a couple of data points we can start drawing lines from and start thinking about, okay, what does this mean actually?
I agree with that completely, especially with going Rams to Bucks, the two teams that we had battles with postseason last year. They're ready. The Bucks looks good, but it's got to be a statement game for us. We got to keep rolling forward.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get one more call here. This has been probably one of the most hard-working callers. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far?
Dude, I think I'm going to give Frank the Tank a run for his fucking money on that.
I love it. Love it.
Yes.
Dude, I am walking down Woodward, grabbing my victory fucking order of White Castle. I just left the game. Well, left the game a little bit ago. I was there right at the end zone, right where they drove it in, man.
I usually call around Christmas when we usually pull off a win around the December season, but finally got a win this time around at the home opener. Felt like a total jackass last year in a ski mask, but I'm super happy it didn't happen this time. And the overtime went our way, man. So
let's look. CJGJ had a good impact on the team for a while, but it's good that he's not here anymore.
Oh, dude, and he got burned like a match in his game too. Yeah. Oh, that was satisfying.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to take the time. I know it's late for you guys, but I was hoping you have your horn ready because I just wanted you guys to toot your own horn for a minute because listening to your podcast leading up to this game, it was so fun to kind of like point out the things you and Jeff Risdon did leading up to this game. Terrion Arnold was going to get tested, and he did the entire game. Stafford saw a rookie cornerback and said, all right, buddy, let's see what you got. And man, was it just a good trial by fire? Was it perfect? No. But did he do his work as a rookie? I was severely impressed by him. Yeah. So it was so great to see. And then, man, and what you have been saying for years, if we are going to be the team that is going to be that level to where we're going to be truly successful, we have to overcome these dumb penalties. And by God, did we not only beat the Rams, we beat the rest today. And I could only hear your and Mr. Risdon's voice throughout this game. So I hope you have that horn ready. I just want to give you guys your laurels. You make watching the game so much more fun with your approach, with your just perspective. So thank you for that. I just wanted to I'm 3 streets to the win. So I'm getting extra, I'm at that I love you, man.
I love you too. And let me just say thank you. I'm not usually one to blow my own horn. Oh, whoops. I couldn't.
Never a thing that happens on this show. Not one time.
No, man, that's so nice of you. It is really cool. It's fun to watch these things come together, man. It really, really is. It's and look, you predict things, you look at things, you can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect. No one has a crystal ball, but you try to put all the pieces together and watch them and see how they come out. And man, this is again, you walk out this week, and week one is always a crapshoot. Anything can happen. It's silly. But you walk out and you see, like you said, about how Terrion did, and you see how we overcame the penalties, and you say, after this game, this is definitely a team that has every chance to make an appearance in the Super Bowl. We are for sure a contender. It's the Rams. They were injured, I understand, but there's a whole bunch of other subplots going on right here. And I just, as we saw from last year what this team was, and the other part, we tend to play teams closer to the level of the team that we're playing. We don't just walk in and blow out the Fumble Bunnies and then have a tight game against, the superstars. We usually have an interesting game against everyone we play against. This kind of feels, again, there's an emotional piece to it. There's a rivalry piece to it for both Goff and Stafford. I mean, there's a lot of other kind of intangibles associated. Walking out of this game this week, it just reinforces the idea that this team really could, and it has the capability to make that run for the Super Bowl that we really, really want. And Robert Stevens in the chat, big difference in the way this team finished games. And we finished it, we not only finished it, we finished it behind Monty, behind Montgomery, who was bowling, and our offensive line, who was questionable a little early, who just dominated that defensive line all the way down the field. The defense was exhausted by the time they got to the goal. They just didn't have anything left, and we bowled them right. That was straight power up your ass football, and I loved every second of it. This is a team that has a very, very bright future.
Absolutely, man. And I'm going to jump off pretty quick here, but I usually don't sit behind the field goal when I go to Ford Field, but man, to see the holes that the offensive line was opening up for that run game, to see the frustration of the running backs when they knew they had these beautiful holes. And obviously when they capitalized, it was amazing. When they didn't, you could see the frustration from just from the stands.
Yeah.
And it was, oh man, I mean, Before I go, I will say the Ford Field clothing sucks, so you should get it at DetroitLionsPodcast.com. And if you want to come in sounding like you know what you're talking about as a Detroit Lions fan, make sure to subscribe on Patreon to the best podcast that goes over Detroit Lions football. And that is the one I'm talking on right now, Detroit Lions football. How's that for a sign off?
Oh, man, all the blood is rushing from my head to my head. I'm going to pass out.
Have to do that.
You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for staying up so late. Thank you so much for celebrating the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, the moles, the warts and all that comes with Detroit Lions. It has been such a journey with you guys. Thank you so much for everything. You have a great evening. Get some great rest, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys next week.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
You too.
All
right, bye.
Yeah. All right. I got to put my brother on the payroll. All right, last call. We're going to do the last one here, okay, buddy? Hey, caller, what's your name? How much you made to drink? Oh, you know what? No, we're not. The caller left. That's it. We're shutting it down. All right. So don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's my favorite caller. The one who just hung up on us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please do that so folks can find us. Join the party. Join the Detroit Lions podcast thing, the thing that we are. Join the fun. Have a lot of fun with us. It's a good time, and we appreciate all of you for listening. Again, the likes, the subscribes, all that are really, really appreciated. St. Jude's coming up. We have some conversation about that. It's going to be different but fun. It's going to be funner. We got more coming on that, so we'll talk about that. Also, don't forget about us on Patreon, patreon.com, as just mentioned, /Detroit Lions Podcast, patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. If you donate $5 or more per month, it's nothing. It's a cup of coffee a month. You get access to the Slack chat, which is the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. You got Rockin' and Rollin' Risen going. He's chatting right now. You got Rockin' and Rollin' Ash. You got Bish. You got Brown. You got all the cool people. Yeah, it's a great place to hang. And
what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm actually in the Detroit Lions Slack chat.
The game time chat is actually pretty awesome. And I just have to get one quote in from Matthew Stafford today. He was asked, "Are you over the Jared Goff chance?" And "Yeah, I am," was his answer. There you go. I didn't hear any natty ice chance. Staffy ice. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at DETLionsPodcast.com. DETLionsPodcast.com. Do not follow at Mr. Tweetson. Do not follow that. He doesn't want you. He wants zero
no
followers.
Circumstances should you follow me on anything.
He has too many followers as it is. It's not fair to other Twitter users. It's not fair. So
and at
don't
least
give
7
a follow
of them
to
are
him.
not porn bots.
Don't follow him. It's not fair to other Twitter users. They deserve the follows, like at DET Lions Podcast. Either way, both of us pant free all the time. And give us a call on Skype. You heard it today. It was Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, or call us on the Lions line at 248-782-8384. That's 248 you fug. Be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast because, as Ash knows, and Ash will tell you, when you do that, what do we do, Ash?
We show up in your ear holes and spread our demon seed off magically.
Either way, someone's getting wet. Either way, someone's getting wet. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no problems, because we are the demon seed of your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. Thank you all. We'll see you this week.